Hello everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of Monster Manual, a Pokemon-inspired D&D campaign where I and my friends will be hanging out and we'll be playing some Pokemon / D&D / monsters. Woo. Anyways, so I'm going to be starting off. I am your host and dungeon master for this campaign. My name is Justin Hayward. A little bit about me. I have run the Resources the Gathering channel, and I also have been playing Dungeons & Dragons for about 10 years now. Check us out on our podcast where we do Talk Nerdy to Me, where we talk about nerdy topics. And remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Anyways, so moving into our story, there's obviously 3 players. They will be introducing themselves in-game, so they can say hi or whatever they want to do. But we will be starting our adventure as we get ready for our first ever episode of Monster Manual. Our story begins on Delver Island, a small island owned by the founder of the Dungeon Delver Market Corporation. It's a small farming village, known for its fishing and farming through its local populace. The locals mostly are isolated from the giant castle glooming over in the distance, as the owners clearly have a financial gain from this predecessors. Our heroes are starting their journey after graduating from the local Delver Corp School of Magical Summoning. What this school is a school provided by the Delver Corporation to the young of this island to ensure that the local populace will allow them to live here. Each of you was the only members of your class as one of 7 total graduating students. As you guys get ready to go to your graduation ceremony, caps and gowns ready, each of you having your sort of graduation armor already pre-placed, a basic armor set. As you guys sort of maneuver through the space, each of you getting ready to get on stage to present the final task that you are required to do in order to graduate. You are going to summon your very first familiar. As you guys sort of stand in line, you guys are met by your instructor, a long-bearded dwarvish man, sort of ginger dwarvish beard, and sort of a bald head and sort of spectacles as he kind of walks up and he goes, "Hello, class, and welcome to your final class of the semester. Upon this completion of this task, you shall graduate and become official monster summoners of the realm. First up, we will have..." And Josh, I'd like you to introduce your character. So introduce yourself and your character.
Within my character, I'm Gregorius Smithsonian, otherwise known as Greg Smith. I'm a guy who just hangs out. I'm there. Like, my family, they're pretty cool.
As you head onto the stage, your family, your parents, Fred and Wilma, sort of come onto the stage and they're like, woo, with their brand new baby, a human family, as it were, sort of holding their shushing baby as they're trying to keep them calm during this sort of loud engagement. Being one of, only 2 children, your parents love you very much, as you're the first born son to ever graduate from college and to, high school, really, and make your way into adulthood. And so as you manage to make it on the stage, go ahead and start doing a cast for me. So I'm going to go ahead and have you roll a d20 to determine how your cast looks. What is that?
20.
It's a natural 20.
Holy fuck.
As you walk onto the stage, for whatever reason, you were ready for this day. You've been ready for this day your entire life. As you crack your knuckles and begin the cast, you snap your fingers and suddenly a figure starts to form. a small ball of light flickers. Poof, 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 until suddenly a crab forms within your hand.
Hell yeah.
And what is the name of your familiar?
I'll name it Leonardo. Leonardo da Pinche.
Leonardo da Pinche opens its eyes for the first time, and it claps its little claws together in happiness. And he goes, and telepathically you can hear him say, "Master." And your sort of instructor, Professor Cornelius Pines, a.k.a. Professor Pinecones, looks at you and goes, "All right, go ahead and get off my fucking stage."
Put a little crab guy on my shoulder and get off stage.
So next up, you see sort of an elderly aged, middle-aged man, a human man, sort of has like a unicut sort of hairstyle, as mostly balded on top. And you guys know him as Nevin Goldberg. He is a sort of older gentleman who was known for working at the local Dungeon Mart before dropping out during his time and having to take care of his sick mom. But now that she's passed, he feels it's his time to shine, and he's going to go on a big adventure that he never got to do and become an official monster catcher. That is the title that you guys have taken on.
That's what's up.
He sort of gets on stage.
I love that guy.
Nevin gets on stage, and he rubs his hands together, and he just sort of casts out his spell. And as he does, the sort of blast of magical energy shoots from his fingertips, forming together into a ball of poisonous gas. And as it does, it sort of sinkers up, and a small frog with a bunch of purple dots on its body sort of forms. And he goes, "Ribbit."
Hell yeah, I love frogs.
And he's kind of ushered off stage. Next up, Troy, would you please introduce your character?
Hello, my name's Cornelius Clarence Clearwater. I'm from the family they call the Seven Seas, with me, my 4 siblings, and my 2 parents. Yes, we all have the first letter with the name C.
So as you get onto the stage, your parents are ready. They're like, "Woo! Water type! Water type! Water type!" They are so hyped that they're going, "Water hype! Water hype!" As you get ready to cast your spell, go ahead and give me a d20 roll.
12.
As you sort of cast your spell, a little less confident than your counterparts who have cast up to this point, you sort of cast out, and a small ball of flames suddenly starts to form. And suddenly, a little puppy sort of forms out of this ball and suddenly takes shape into its full size of a normal-sized dog. Please describe what your dog... Well, what is your dog's name?
I look at the dog and go, "Lit. I'm going to call you Blazen."
So Blazen, a.k.a. 420, is ready to go as you guys sort of maneuver off the stage. As Blazen 420 manages to head off the stage with you. Next up, you see a sort of young girl with black hair, elvish sort of in nature. She sort of walks up. She was kind of the class slacker as she kind of comes up there, living solely off of her family's reputation and wealth. Her name is Serena Delver. She comes from the Delver family, and she lives in the castle on the island that you guys are from. And she kind of comes up on the stage. She kind of rubs her hands together, and she's just like, "Well, if the family's magic can get me anywhere, kablooey." And she summons a sort of magical ball that suddenly takes a purplish sort of entity and pops up, and you see little cat ears and cat tail sort of pop out as this psychic cat starts crawling on the stage. And she's like, "Ha, well, that's expected." She kind of walks off. Next, you see the Professor Pinecones kind of like gets a little teary-eyed as he's like, "Our next guest is very special to me. He's my one and only son. And you see a small, like 10-year-old boy sort of walk on the stage, and 10-year-old and like dwarvish years, so like 100. Yeah. And so he just sits there, and his name's Thorn Pinecones. And he's like this little kid who's probably like half the size of the rest of the adults at this graduation. And he kind of like pushes his glasses up like his dad. And he's just like, all right, guys, well, hey, how's it going? I'm ready to graduate. I'm going to go ahead and do this summoning thing now, yeah? And he slowly starts casting his spell. And unlike the rest of you, you see a lot of magical energy getting pushed into this sphere. And while maybe everyone else has probably done like half the size of what his spell is, you see probably double that as it slowly starts to get larger and larger, and it pops with a sort of dark sort of essence that slowly fades to the wind as an owl takes shape. And he goes, huh, well, that's interesting. And he kind of like pulls the owl off the stage. And next, we'll have Shaizon. Will you introduce your character for us, please?
I'm playing Twill, who is a half-orc. He has green skin, patches on his skin that kind of show like humanish, like it's like a white pretty much on his skin. He also has like shaggy hair. He wears all like black, but even though he's a very like bright, optimistic smile on his face as he like goes on stage. He is from the family the Groundbreakers. His dad is Bo and his mom is Beatrice.
As you sort of get on stage, the nerves of your family history as being one of 7 children sort of kind of comes up, and you're like, I need you to roll a d20 for me.
See. Oh, that's a 19. Okay, I was like, I'm gonna be shit.
Coming from a long line of family and kind of knowing that your siblings have all graduated before you, you easily get on the stage, sort of crack your massive hands in sort of like a pattern and sort of shoot out your magical blast. As you do, a ball of energy slowly starts to form, taking on a dark shape, and poof, a sort of dark energy forms as a monkey appears out, and he puts out the dark energy slowly takes shape into the shape of sunglasses as Monkey puts his sunglasses on and goes, ooh, ooh, ha, ha. And what's your monkey's name?
His name would be Monkey.
The most creative name of the group. You clearly chose a well-fitting name as Monkey goes, Monkey, Monkey, ooh, ha, ooh, ha. And as you like, guys, get off the stage.
Fly to my shoulder.
And the wings sprout from his back, and he slowly flies onto your shoulder and sits down as you guys like take your seat. And as last member of your guys' sort of class, you guys know this as the foreign exchange student. Her name is Yuri Waterkin. She's a merfolk girl who has come from the underwater city of Salt Haven. And she sort of gets on stage. Her parents are not here. As she sort of gets on the stage, she makes her way, and she's just like, well, I guess I can do it. And she blasts out a blast spell. And as she does, probably the largest creature of the group is created. And a octopus forms. And she's just, it kind of like sticks itself to the ground and starts moving. It's just, and like eventually climbs onto her body. And it's like, well, that makes sense. As she like takes her seat. Finally, your instructor comes back onto the stage. Professor Pinecones, as you guys have all known to call him. He takes his form and he goes, well, it seems that you've all graduated officially. You've passed your final test, as it were. And I will now announce you as official graduates of the school. The Dungeon Delver School of Monster Summoning. Upon graduation, you will receive, and he pulls out a sort of old sort of raggedy book, and he pulls one out and he goes, one of these monster manuals, a device used to harness the different various informations that you will collect upon your graduation of various monsters upon your quests. Your goal is to collect all of the information acquired for the monsters. The monster manual will allow you to gain a specific spell. Each of you being warriors, as it were, will have a cast identify spell that you can use once per long rest. So when you go to bed, you can recast it. It's pretty cool. Another thing you shall gain is 50 gold pieces. This will be used as various funds that your families have generously offered in order for you to be able to travel as a starting fund. And lastly, you will gain a single ticket to ride the ferry to the closest town, that of Bloomsbury, on the main continent, as we are an island. And it kind of flashes back as you sort of see the landscape that you guys have all grown up on, the memories of the world that you guys have come to know, a sort of distant land from that of the mainlands. A various of sort of caverns and sort of terrain features that you guys have explored together through your classes. Through this time frame of classes that you guys have taken over the past 8 years, each of you guys have grown close together. You guys have all become really good friends. As one of only 7 students, it seems that you 3 seem to be the oddballs that stuck together, as it were, for one reason or another. And the main flash that kind of centralized your guys' sort of connection was the moment that our surfer bro, Cornelius, pulled out his first blunt and offered it to each of you as you guys decided to toke one for the first time. And now we flash back to just after graduation as Cornelius pulls out his signature blunt and with his Blazen 420 puppy, he lights that shit and presents it to his boys for graduating.
I cannot smoke this. My parents are right there.
What, you can't smoke in front of your parents?
Dude, no, that's like totally not cool.
My parents won't care. Get here. Yeah, there you go. See, Greg's cool. Come on, Twill. Come on, bro.
Dude, I'm so cool. It's just like,
Come on, bro.
Fucking I'll take
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Just one hit.
That's some good shit.
As you guys take your first hit of graduation,
That's what we called the blunt.
Yes, it is actually a blunt. I don't get it.
you see your professor kind of walk up, and he kind of shakes his head at you and he goes, how many times do I have to tell you guys not to smoke that shit? And he grabs it from you, and he takes a big, deep hit, and he goes, carry on.
Good shit, prof.
And he kind of looks at you and goes, hey, just, keep an eye on my son for me if you could.
No.
If my eyes are
No,
open
I'm
enough.
kidding. He's cool.
And from there, each of you are released to your family to say goodbye before you guys take off on your first ever adventure. And so, moving to Greg first. Greg, your parents put you in a warm embrace, smelling the herbs and spices that they've grown to know about you. They're like, Greg, you always smell so good. Why do you always smell so good, Greg? What kind of deodorant do you use?
The good kind.
Greg, we love that about you. You're such a great student.
You're so ambiguous. We love it.
Greg, your mom starts crying a little bit. She's like, we're going to miss you, Greg. But, just know that regardless, we'll always be here for you.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. I love you.
And they kind of warmly embrace you in sort of a deep, deep, passionate hug as you guys all form a sort of semicircle hug between you and your sibling.
Yep.
Your sibling sort of grabs at your nose.
My sibling is a baby.
Yes.
She's goated.
With the sauce.
No, she's not a quirked up white boy that buzzes down sexual style. So I don't know if she's goated with the sauce, but she's goated.
From there, we flash forward to Shaizon's family. As your parents kind of look at you, you have two younger siblings who look up to you, and they're just like, "We want to be like you one day."
No, trust me, you don't want to be like me. I do good things, but I feel like I could be better, you know?
Your dad kind of looks at you and he goes, "You know, over the past 18 years, I've come to learn a lot about you as my son. And all I can say is, arm wrestle right now!"
Yes, Daddy. Let us do this. Let me see what my strength is really quickly. My father is a very strong man, I feel like, but I might be stronger. Oh no, I got a 9.
As you go to grasp your father's hand, he kind of looks at you and smiles.
Wait.
As his hand suddenly falls back, and for the first time in your life, you've beaten your father.
Piece of shit, you faked that, is it you?
And he goes, "I had to let my boy win at least once in his life, didn't I?"
Father. I embrace him. I cry in his in his biceps. Just cry.
I cry in my ripped dad's abs.
As you warmly embrace your dad, your mom kind of looks up at you and she goes, "You know, I hate the fact that you smoke that shit. Your eyes are redder than the devil's dick, but you know what? I'm gonna miss you, son."
I'll miss you too, Mother. And I just put my hand out as a handshake for her. I know you don't like hugs.
She goes, "I'll give you one today."
Oh my God.
And your mom gives you your first hug in your entire life.
This just feels so weird, but so good.
Depressing.
You're not even smiling.
No smiles, just straight faced as always, as she gives you your first hug.
Strong, independent woman, Mother. I love you for it.
And lastly, we see Cornelius, your family. Your mom and dad seem to be fighting over the context of you suddenly having a flaming pet. Your mom kind of looks at you and goes, "What the fuck is that?"
Dad, I got a dog, finally. Isn't it cute?
I know you always talked about wanting a puppy, and we told you that you could have a squid instead, but this is not what we meant when you said you could just get one eventually.
But look how cute he is.
We come from a long line of water-type monsters, and here you are, wasting your life with this fire-type.
No, Blazen, he gets me. He understands me.
And Blazen looks at you and his eyes are already just bloodshot as shit. As he looks like he's smoked more weed than you do, but he's clearly sober.
See, look at him. I aspired to be like him one day.
As you sort of do, your dad and mom just kind of look at you and go, "You know, we know you've always been a curious one for the herb, but, you know, bro, I just want to tell you that at the end of the day, we still love you."
I love you too, bro.
And they're like, do you want to hug it out and have a kumbaya session?
Okay, bro.
Just without the fire.
And they're like, "Kumbaya, hoi, kumbaya, kumbaya." Your dad pulls out his trusty ukulele that he just has at all times, and he's just like, "Kumbaya, hoi, kumbaya." Is
Are you enjoying this?
Yes.
as each of you seems to have
Can I clap?
yes.
I clap. I give a thunderous applause.
And suddenly, as you guys sort of embrace each of your families at the same time, a sudden change in the weather occurs. A thunderstorm suddenly starts erupting from the sky as the clear skies of your island home change swiftly. And each of you knows that while this moment is important, moving forward, this is the last day of your childhood. And from here on out, you are officially monster summoners. And sort of claps forward into your first day, each of you having your bags packed, getting ready for the ferry ride. Having already said your goodbyes to your family for the last time, you kind of get in line. And each of you presents your ticket and gets on the boat. And this is where your real journey begins.
This is beautiful.
All right, so
This is amazing.
getting onto the ship, you guys manage to get onto the ship, and you guys find your guys' individual rooms. You notice that each of you is directly adjacent to the next, as all three of you are sort of lined up, just like you guys have always been in classes. And you notice there's only 10 total rooms, and 7 of them are filled up with your total classmates. The ship captain, his name is Maurice, a sort of dark-skinned human, sort of comes up and he's like, well, fellas, we're going to go ahead and start this here venture. You guys ready to get on your here way?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you the rules of the boat.
Okay. Is there any smoking allowed on the boat?
Well, you can smoke on the deck there.
On the
Smoke
what?
what? What are we allowed to smoke?
Like herbs or?
I don't give a shit what you smoke. You can smoke whichever
Crack?
you want. I mean, you got some crack? I like crack.
You got some crack?
You have
smoke
crack?
Greg?
I don't remember.
smoke crack, but like Cornelius seems to have the hookup.
Greg, I think you smoke crack.
Yeah, maybe
I think he's about
maybe I
crack,
like
dude.
a little bit of crack from now on, like every
No,
once
it's
in a while.
fine. I just never thought you were into
Like
that.
maybe
It's
I'm
quite
just like
interesting.
a little like I'm just like the cool kind of crackhead.
Oh, cookhead. There are cool crackheads. I've met a few. They do
Yeah.
magic tricks at
Yeah, me.
at the stations, you know.
Just a little bit of crack from time to time.
So he looks at you and goes, look, you're officially adults here. You can go ahead and smoke whatever you here want, all right? But don't smoke below deck inside your rooms.
Why?
Well, if you happen to start a fire on the boat, I'll probably murder you and your entire family.
Oh no. What about his puppy? His puppy's full.
Yeah, but the puppy is made out of fire.
I will pour a bucket of water on your puppy.
You will not touch my puppy.
Yo, can the puppy light your blunts? Have you tried that yet?
That's the first thing I did.
That's the first thing he did.
So
Hell yeah.
as you guys sort of get on the boat, you notice a large sea turtle. For those at home, we might have subtle cat noises coming
subtle when she jumps on the table.
from the love of my life. That's my familiar, by the way, guys. As you guys sort of get on the boat, you notice that there is a giant turtle pulling the vessel. As he sort of calls, the ship captain, Maurice, calls out and goes, all right, Timmet, go ahead and start this here paddle boat. As the turtle sort of starts moving its legs, the paddles of the 4 wheels of the boat start moving forward as the ferry progresses its way. And for those at home, there is a cat on the table. That is the love of my life, Salem. She is adorable, but she might interrupt our podcast. I am not sorry. Anyways, so as we sort of progress forward, the boat sort of shimmies forward, and your classmates are all kind of like doing various things. You sort of hear a smacking of some gum, like a... As Serena, your guys' favorite member of your classroom, sort of comes up and she's like... Oh, hey, what's up, losers?
Hello, Serena.
What's up?
You guys still smoking that terrible ganja?
No, it's meth this time.
You want some?
I mean,
I pull out a bag of meth.
you pull out a bag of meth. And as you do...
Have this.
Where did you get this?
As you do, Serena's like, oh my god, you were serious?
Here's some meth. Give her the entire bag of meth. I hope to ruin her life through addiction.
As you hand her the bag of meth, she goes, "Oh, thanks," and she throws it in the ocean. And she goes, "Drugs are bad, okay, Greg?"
I throw my crab after it.
So is polluting.
My crab will retrieve the meth.
Serena, so I want to ask you a question.
Sure. What is your question?
How do you feel being like, a graduate like us, It feels exciting for me, so...
What are the odds my crab gets that meth back?
0 to 1.
Those are good odds. Can I roll for it?
Yeah, you can roll for it. Roll a d20. Yeah. What did you get?
I got 10.
You got 10. So you.
So on a scale of 1 to 0, that would end up being 1, right?
No.
Well, I mean, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You're right.
So as you sort of send your crab in, your crab sort of comes out of the water and goes, as in like, I don't know.
My meth. Can I pull out a bag of Coke?
Give me a d20 roll to see if you could have.
How many drugs I have on me? 9.
You do not have a bag of meth and a bag of Coke. So unfortunately, you only had the meth.
Shit.
Greg, what are you doing?
I'm trying to find more drugs.
Why?
To ruin her life.
Wait, Greg,
That's why I've had the drugs the whole time. I've never used them.
I thought you were kind of straight edge type dude.
Yeah, so did I, bro.
I'm trying to ruin her life.
That's
Between us.
from though, Greg?
Where did you get meth from?
Dude, I sold like a couple of like hours of work of myself on the black market. Got like a bag of meth
When did you do this?
like 3 years ago.
Jesus.
Okay.
It's been a long plan in the works, and she just threw it off the boat.
That sucks, yes.
So as Greg gives his life story about his acquiring to be a drug kingpin,
Basically,
he's the Walter White of this venture here. We see a flashback of Greg going back into his drug days as he walks up to nearby fishermen and he's just like, "Hey, yo, I'd like to buy some drugs." And they're like, "Yeah, we got some drugs for you." And they hand him said drugs.
And then I fished for 4 hours.
And he fished for 4 hours for drugs, and they were like, "We were just gonna give them to you for free," but sure, yeah, man. Like,
Yeah. Good thing I'm terrible at fishing. I showed them.
So, as you guys are sort of sitting on the stage, Maurice and sort of comes back up and he's like, "All right, fellas. Well, seems you're all brand new Pokemon trainers, right? It seems that you're all brand new monster trainers, right?
Yeah, I got a question.
What's good?
How much for that turtle?
The turtle?
The
turtle.
How much?
How much?
He's not for sale.
What? I want the turtle.
Okay, but like, how much do you value your kneecaps?
Ignore my meth addicted friend.
No, it wasn't like a threat. It's just a question, an inquiry.
He only has one kneecap, so he just looks at it and goes, "I like my left kneecap very much because I don't got a right one."
So
I would just keep that in mind when negotiating.
45 gold for the turtle.
I'm willing to make it 90 gold for the turtle.
Not for sale.
I'll make it 90 gold in your kneecap.
Hey guys, that's his familia. I don't think you want to give.
But speaking of, since you want to battle so bad, how about you go ahead and battle your... And he snaps his fingers and you hear like fight music going on, like do 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 do. As suddenly the fight music begins, he goes, "Your fellow classmates in a 1v1 rival battle." And each of you is going to go ahead and give me a 1d6 roll and to see what you get.
Wait, how about this, Maurice? I do not want to fight my classmates. I'm really good friends with everybody.
He doesn't care, I think.
Do I get the turtle?
You just gave away his kneecap.
I did not give anything away. You said
Okay.
D6, right?
Yep, d6.
Six.
One as well.
You got a 1 as well? Both of you guys re-roll.
6.
No, but I want
Three.
Troll to be my rival. 6.
3. He beat me, my
Do I
rival.
reroll again?
No. So each of you guys will be facing a different classmate in this 1v1 rival battle with Cornelius, you're going to be fighting. Nevin. You got number 3.
Yes.
So you have Serena.
No, it's not Serena.
And then Greg. Greg, you're going to be fighting Yuri.
Got him. He's so stupid.
And on that note, we're going to take a small break so I can set up for the battles. So anyways, we are officially back. The scene is set for the official first combat. So for those of you at home, my combat system for this game is a little bit different than your normal campaigns for D&D. How it's going to work is each of the players will run like normal players, where they were going to have their normal ACs, attack with their modifiers, and etc. However, the monsters that they have are going to have a different system, and this is going to apply to all monsters. How the monster system works is each monster is associated with a type, which they've already discussed before. Each of these types has an advantage or disadvantage against a specific type or a normal roll. They're going to roll just base rolls with either advantage, disadvantage, or normal roll based off the type that they're fighting against. All right, so for those of you at home, there's currently 4 different types of attacks or actions that the player can use for their Pokemon during a combat. The first one being a base attack. It's going to be 1d4 plus strength modifier. The second one being a special attack. It's going to be 1d10 plus intelligence modifier. And this is going to be their type of attack. The third one's going to be a recovery action. It's going to be 1d6 plus wisdom modifier, and it's going to help heal points equal to that amount. And the last one's going to be a condition action, which is going to be either charmed or frightened. It's going to be a 1d20 plus charisma. They get one of these per long rest.
Of us or the animal?
The animals do.
Sick.
So your animals are going to get each of these. So you get 4 per level of base attack, 2 per level special attack, 1 per level recovery action, and 1 per level per condition action. And so the charmed or frightened ability, if they charm something, then it's going to have advantage against if it attacks someone else. And if it's frightened, it's going to have disadvantage if it attacks you. And that's how it's going to work in combat. Does that make sense for everybody?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. On that note, we will go ahead and begin our very first combat. I need each of you guys to roll a d20 roll to determine who is going first.
14.
Oh, trusty. Plus Dexmon.
No, not. These are just your Pokemon. So,
Yeah.
another variable that happens in this game is that in a combat between another player, like another Pokemon trainer,
Monster.
in a combat associated with another monster, the players are not allowed to attack. However, in a combat associated with a monster that is outside of of a trainer, then they are allowed to attack. The players are allowed to act. So in this specific situation, it's only going to be your monsters that attack, not yourselves. So on that note, what did everybody roll? I'm going to start off with Josh.
6.
6. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and write down your guys' rolls. 1 second.
I'm goated with the sauce.
All right. Troy?
14.
Shaizon?
16.
You son of a bitch.
fell
You
there.
son of a bitch.
If it doesn't go out of here, then it doesn't count. If it was a 4, I would have said 4.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and start combat. Cornelius, your opponent is actually going to go first.
I call bullshit. Do I have advantage because I'm high?
No, you have disadvantage because you're high.
Fuck.
No, we all have disadvantage.
All right, so they are going to try to attack you. So they're going to do a special attack against you, but they have to roll with disadvantage.
Quick question. Where are we at right now? We just like in the bottom part to the top?
So
or-
currently you guys are on the ship's deck.
Okay, cool.
So as you guys sort of arrive, Marquis sort of looks at you guys and he's like, all right, you guys want to fuck around? And he snaps his fingers, and his crew members sort of push you guys into this sort of the circular formation.
Does that look like Oompa Loompas?
No, they look like normal ship members of like a normal sailor ship. And so they sort of push you guys all in together, and they're like, all right, we're going to put you guys in basically like a giant mosh pit. And there's three different mosh pits going on right now. And they pushed you up against different classmates to determine how you guys will do. And so now they're currently creating bets to determine who is the best fighter. So back to the fight, Cornelius, your opponent is going to roll 2d20 to determine if they can hit you, and they're going to take the lower of the two.
Oh, yes.
Does a 11 hit?
Yes.
Okay.
I have an AC of 10.
No.
No, this is for your your monster.
Yeah, I got an AC of 10.
Yep. So it's going to be 5 total damage.
Jesus.
As he sort of
What is our HP pool? Is it the same thing that we did last time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's bigger than I was about to say.
So he sort of flaps his wings. Oh no! Oh, sorry, you're fighting Nevin. So Nevin sort of licks his tongue at you and licks your monster in the face. And as he does, his tongue gets a little bit singed, but you see the spores starting to spread onto Blazen's body and sort of melt off as it sort of dissipates.
Okay, quick aside.
So it's your mod. What mod?
Wait, it says hit points I have 2. It says a 1d4.
That's not.
Yeah, we never established correct hit points.
Okay, so you guys are going to start off with 10 hit points each.
Oh, okay, 10.
Okay, sick.
10 plus Constitution modifier.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, hell yeah.
For animal?
For your animal, yeah.
That makes so much sense, too.
Okay, I'm at 10 hit points.
I'm at 13.
What's your con mod?
Plus 3.
Plus 1.
No, not the con mod of us. The con mod of the animal.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, comma of the animal.
-4.
Oh, never mind. Oh,
All right, so he's at 2 hit points.
You won't take any negatives.
Got
So you just be at 10.
Okay.
Wait, so we don't take negative effects?
Mine just has a +1 something.
Not your Pokemon, no.
Okay, so my crab has a -5 to intelligence.
It's a 0.
It's a 0.
It's a 0? Okay, sick.
Good thing.
I was about to roll some really bad rolls.
Yeah, no, so for your for your monsters do not take any negatives, but they don't get any positives if they do have a negative. Now, what you could do is, if you're trying to eventually modify their stats, your feat versus modifier abilities, those are for your monsters. Your monsters get the modifier, you guys get an additional feat. And so your modifiers will never go up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's why you guys get extra hit points.
Yeah, extra shit.
Yeah, so you'll still be not terrible, but you're not going to get, like, busted.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense.
But your monsters get the hit modifier, so if they have any negatives, you might want to put them there.
Yes.
So you can at least get modifiers somewhere.
Okay, so how much
Gotcha,
damage did I take
gotcha.
again?
Huh?
How much damage did I take
You
again?
took 5.
Okay.
That is a handful.
Monkeys have no disadvantages except on strength.
All right. So next up is going to be the one going up against Josh. So Greg, you were fighting Thorn, right?
No, I was fighting Yuri.
You're fighting Yuri, got you. So you're going to be fighting Yuri, who does not have advantage or disadvantage against you.
The audio levels are going to be whack this time. So keep moving the mic. I just need to keep it.
Yeah, just don't move
Keep
it.
it at one point, don't move it. Talk at the same place. It'll work out.
Yeah. All right. So she's going to roll. She's just got a base roll against you, and that's going to miss by a lot.
Are you sure?
It's a 3.
Yeah, that misses.
All right. So that'll miss. All right. So moving through the combat, Yuri's octopus sort of slashes out with one of its tentacles to try to slap your crab in the face, and it doesn't even reach far enough. They're trying to figure out how their fighting style works. All right, next up, it's going to be
What'd you roll, Troy?
14.
It's going to be Twill.
Twill, let's just do something. Against, who am I fighting? Serena.
And so you're fighting Serena. So you'll be fighting Serena. So go ahead and roll.
What does Serena's familiar look like?
Her familiar looks like a cat.
Cat?
With
Espion.
Yeah, it's Espion.
Espion. Okay. So, Selena, I do not wish to fight you. I'm trying to be a really good friend here. We were friends back in school, I feel like.
You do have advantage.
Oh, no. Monkey's like, Soul's clearly trying to like talk it through. Monkey's like, fuck this.
He's like, I'm gonna beat some ass.
I have advantage. That's 11. Okay, so 11.
11, that does hit.
Oh, no. I'm just doing normal on all mine because I'm strong, so.
Thicker than a Snicker, Monkey's going to go ahead and try to smack him.
Let's do normal is 1d6.
No modifiers.
rolls?
Straight.
Oh, yeah, straight rolls. Yeah, I know that. Mm-hmm. But the attack has a modifier, right? Our strength mod.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, your attacks have the modifiers of your guys' players.
That'll be 9 damage to you, Cecile. I'm so sorry.
As you do,
Monkey,
you
easy.
notice that her cat hasn't even really realized what kind of power it has. Oh, no. And it literally just, Monkey flies in, 2 fists, and just rock'em sock'em robots her. Oh, no. And KO. Just. Doof.
I'm so sorry, Serena Williams, professional tennis player.
And that'll end your combat. All right, next up.
Wait, who's who on the board?
He's furthest on wherever your positions are on the table.
So we are out of it.
Sorry, Cecile. Got knocked down or wall.
Oh, yeah, I guess I'm still up, but I'm.
All right, next up is going to be Cornelius.
Special attack, Blazen. 17.
And remember, you do roll with advantage.
17.
That's going to hit.
17.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have to remember what a D10 is.
D10.
D10, yeah.
The one that's
plus
in
your,
your hand.
plus your
This one, okay.
Yeah.
Plus, I think, 3. 9 plus 3, so 12
Wait,
damage.
No, it's the intelligence modifier of your animal, right?
No, it's
No,
of you.
that
Of
would
you.
make sense,
Oh.
Yeah.
So 12 damage. As you do, you see the frog slowly just roast, and it pops and disintegrates, and you have completed your task.
Lit.
And then lastly, we are left with Greg. Greg,
Yeah.
your attack.
Special. Do I have advantage?
No.
3.
Who are you fighting, Greg?
Yuri.
So you have no advantage or disadvantage.
Yuri, stupid motherfucker. Gosh.
What'd you get?
That's the 3.
That'll miss.
Really? I thought it was close.
All right. So
Didn't they roll a 3 as well?
they did.
Let's go.
She also misses again.
All right, let's go. Run it back with a special. 5.
That'll also miss.
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 2.
I like
Wow,
to think
we are-
that we're just watching it. We're just like,
It's an intense, heated
All
battle.
right, she's going to hit this time.
All right.
It's going to be for 6 damage.
Ow.
As she just kind of waxes you with one of her octopus's sort of legs, just sort of like a whip, just. And you see ice crystals starting to form on your Leonardo da Vinci's face.
No, Leo. Attack. Special move. This is my guy.
try normal, try normal.
I tell Twill, I'm like, wow,
12.
they finally hit each other.
That does hit.
You stupid motherfucker. No. That was a 10 on the floor. It would be a 10 plus 3, but it was on the floor. I can re-roll it. 9 plus 3.
As you do, you just sort of Tony Stark laser beam through her body. And that'll end your guys' first ever combat in the Monster Manual campaign.
We fucking dominated.
Yeah, so the thing was, this was not meant to be a hard challenge. This is supposed to be like, so you guys will see what it'd be like.
This was like a tutorial.
I almost died.
I was really trying.
I was doing fine, actually.
Did I do a good job?
All of you guys, so you guys managed to fight pretty quickly and like easily dominate your opponents.
Oh yeah, Twill's gonna run over in comfort. Serena.
Yeah, she's just kind of crying, and she's just like, "But Mom told me I was gonna be the best."
I grab her and I brush her cheek and I say, "You are the best, just not better than me."
And she looks at you and goes, "Ew. Why
you.
are you touching me?
You know what? You're right. I'm so sorry.
You're gross."
Wow, dang, you're so mean. I thought we were friends.
What are friends?
You borrowed my notebook once. I just thought we were good friends. You know, I was back in 2nd grade.
I walk up to Twill. I'm like, hey, Twill, that was my notebook.
10 years ago, you borrowed my notebook. I know you never gave it back, but I thought you knew it was mine and you were borrowing it. So I thought we were really good friends.
I feel so bad. This is evil. This is evil. You're like my 4th best friend.
We were pen pals. I kept sending you letters. Do you not remember?
You said they got lost in transit.
Every time I got to school, I asked you, and you're like, I forgot to read them, or they got
I
lost.
feel so bad. No.
So
You know what? Fuck you.
I'm off it.
as you guys manage to finish your guys' fights, you notice that each of the sailors sort of like being like, "Yeah, whoa, they won." And so Marquise kind of walks up and he's like, "All right, fellas, you guys have won your monster battles or whatever they are or whatever. So,
Does that mean I can buy the turtle? Can I buy the turtle now?
Can I get your kneecap?
Turtle?
no, but how about this? How about I go ahead and give you each 10 gold pieces from me?
How much was the pot?
Don't worry about how big the pot was.
Oh no, I just questioned. Can I?
Just worry about how much pot you can buy with 10 gold pieces.
I heard pot.
As in like a pool or like a pot?
No, I just want to know.
Like
Can
that,
I
like-
perhaps do a persuasion check to
Like
maybe
a
to see
sneak
if I
peek or-
maybe know?
Yeah, do a persuasion check. Let's
I
see if
don't
you
think I
can
have much to persuasion. I think I have a plus. Let's see what I have real quick.
And as you he looks at you and goes, "Don't think that's gonna cut it there, big hoss, but here's your 10 gold pieces."
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And as he sort of hands you guys your gold pieces, you notice the ferry boat suddenly come to a halt as he sort of rocks back and forth and he goes, "Well, I think that means you guys have just officially arrived at your forced destination. Have fun being monster hunters or whatever you want to be." And that's going to end our first episode here on Monster Manual.
I love being a monster hunter at Rise.
And so we're going to go ahead and end it here, and we will see you guys next week for episode 2 of Monster Hunter.
Sponsored by Old Spice.